I lost my voice. Where it's at, nobody knows. It's a little much, even for my natural vocal fry. So, my sweet, wonderful, love of my every life husband is going to forecast the weather for me. I've written him a script, so it's still the same forecasts that you've grown accustomed to, just being delivered by someone else. The show must go on, so may I introduce to you my wonderful husband, Carrie.
Hi everyone, I'm Carrie, and I'll be subbing in for Delana while she frantically tries to locate where she lost her voice, aka bed rest. She's given me a script and the rundown of what the astro weather looks like this week. I may not know all the jargon, but she talks with me all the time about it, and enough that I think I'll be able to hold my own. She did say that it was a good week for her voice to be snatched Little Mermaid style, because there's not a ton happening. There's one major ingression and a full moon. Other than that, there's only an aspect or two to focus on. The first thing on the docket is Venus ingressing into Taurus on Monday, March 30th. Delana says that Venus has been ripping through these signs and that it feels like Venus in Aries was merely a blip. Venus ingressing into Taurus means that it'll be back in a place of greater dignity. It will be domiciled instead of in detriment. This means we're no longer going to have to scrimp and scrape and fight for things to go our way, at least where Venus is concerned. The realm of Taurus is about to get brighter. It's going to turn into a lush green forest of abundance and prosperity. Venus loves being in Taurus and is going to show through the goodness it brings. If Taurus is a money house for you, congrats, because finances will be receiving a boost. If Taurus is a social or relationship house like it is for us Cancer Risings, I'm a Cancer Rising by the way, then friendships and making connections will be where you'll see a lot of flow and harmony. I've seen it this week with my apprenticeship and just connections in that way. It's happening in real time for me. The beneficence of Venus will be starting with us Monday and will take us through the majority of April. It's going to be such a different vibe from Venus and Aries, where we had to really push and fight for harmony. Things will feel smoother and like they come together more naturally, at least within the realm that Taurus rules. This ingression welcomes us into the week, then we're met by a midweek April Fool's full moon extravaganza. On Wednesday, April 1st, there's a full moon in Libra. Delana didn't leave a bunch of details on this because that'll be in her full moon horoscopes. But what I do know is that Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus will have just ingressed into its place of domiciled dignity. So that's got to mean something good. The ruler of the full moon is happy, and there's a lot of really nice Venus action happening in the beginning of the week. The full moon being on April Fool's Day is more of a funny thing than an astrologically significant one. Apparently, April Fool's Day comes from when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian one. People didn't realize the calendar swap happened and were made fun of because they were celebrating the wrong things on the wrong day. Clearly, pranks have gotten more elaborate since then. So the full moon on April Fool's isn't an omen, but Delana does say that if you wear shoes without laces, you might be spared some subpar pranks. The real thing to focus on during April Fool's will be the illumination of the realm of Libra. There's been so much Aries action, and this full moon will be directly opposing that energy. It's a good chance to check in with the realm of Libra and see what's being highlighted for you, and also what you might need to shed or let go of, because apparently full moons are about releasing as well. Again, she didn't leave me a lot on this since she wrote about it in her zine, but just know there's a full moon on Wednesday and it's Venus ruled and Venus is happy. There are two main points of the week. If you take anything away from this forecast, Venus ingression into Taurus and the full moon in Libra are it. There are some aspects at the end of the week that Delana wants you to be aware of though. On Friday, April 3rd, Mercury will be trine Jupiter and Venus will be square Pluto. Let's start with Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury is getting closer to being out of the retrograde shadow period, which means things are really starting to get back to normal within the realm of Pisces. Pisces is my ninth house, and I was having a hell of a time with documents from my apprenticeship program and them getting the address wrong or my middle initials wrong. A bunch of other things happened clerically that were just a mess. It was constantly something for weeks on end, but everything's getting ironed out, so hopefully that mess is behind us. This trine between Mercury and Jupiter is going to be nice because they're both stationed direct this time. The realms of Pisces and Cancer are going to finally have a moment where they feel like they can grow, expand, and not have any hangups or issues come up. The mind is going to be snappy and alert in these areas of life, and at the end of the week, it might even present opportunities for growth in ways that feel good, rather than us continually pushing our comfort zone or needing to be patient while something propagates. The energy between Mercury and Jupiter is pretty benefic. Sure, Mercury is in detriment, but Jupiter is exalted and they're both direct. We can't be picky about this. We're taking the goodness that comes our way, and we're not complaining about it. A win is a win. That's the motto for Friday. A win is a win. The other aspect for the week that Delana wants to note is Venus square Pluto. Venus being freshly ingressed into Taurus is going to bring goodness, but there will be some tension received from Pluto in the early days of the transit. This aspect with Pluto is going to make it feel like there's some leftover drama or intensity that lingers with Venus from when it was in Aries. Relationships and finances may not have the typical Venus and Taurus tone toward the end of the week. They're going to be a bit edgier or raw feeling. Remember, we aren't in Aries anymore. This isn't about fighting for peace and harmony. This is about choosing peace and staying firmly rooted in our lane. The tension we feel within the realm of Taurus is coming directly from the realm of Aquarius. Pluto's energy in Aquarius is vying for control and dominance, but Venus's energy in Taurus knows its worth and needs to stand firm. The art of compromise is going to be big at the end of the week. The realm of Taurus will be focusing on what we might want, and the realm of Aquarius is the place where power surges and compromise need to come into play. This square is between fixed signs, and compromise is never easy with a fixed modality. I'm sure Delana will write more about it in her weekly horoscopes, but just be sure you're really solid with any changes or agreements you make within these areas of your life. That's all I've got for you. Thank you for letting me sub. I hope I did an all right job as an alternate news anchor. Delana is very much looking forward to having the mic back next week. You guys know how much she loves to talk, so this has been really rough on her. Between her Gemini Mars and third house Sagittarius stellium, she's been going nuts not having her voice. All right, take care, guys. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want a more detailed look at what this week's astro weather holds for you personally, go to Delana's website, moonmattersastrology.com, and sign up to receive her zine. You can also find her on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with her work or to book a reading with her is to sign up for her mailing list on her website. She'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.